invite Laurence on stage to talk about Datorama.
Thanks a lot, everyone. So my first time in India, so I'm very excited to be here. I want to thank all of the Salesforce team for welcoming me into the Ohana, as we call it, and then also, obviously, the Mirum team as well for having me up on stage today to talk to you about the latest acquisition that Salesforce made around 9 months ago to the Marketing Cloud family, which is Datorama. So I've been with Datorama for nearly 2 years now, so pre-Salesforce acquisition. So I've got a view of both pre- and post-acquisition, where we're going, and also some of the roadmap and how we can help both customers who are Salesforce and maybe non-Salesforce customers as well. So I just want to start off by giving you a little bit of background on our company, on Datorama, and on the challenge that we've been trying to solve ever since the company was actually founded. So Datorama as a business is actually around 9 years old for now, and actually I just checked today, we're celebrating our kind of 9-month anniversary. So 9 years as a business and 9 months within Salesforce. So as a business, we come from the ad tech ecosystem. So our founders come from the likes of media agencies, the likes of ad tech companies like Seismic, MediaMind. And really the challenge that we set out to solve 9 years ago is still the challenge that we're solving today for our clients. And when we look at those challenges that our clients face, they kind of broadly go into about 3 different categories that we see as the key challenges that marketing agencies, that CMOs are facing in today's world. So some of those challenges are around things like transparency, right? Transparency and wasted money, right? I think we are all conscious of every dollar in versus every dollar out, right? And the budgets that we're getting. So because there's so much data available to us, we have more and more ways to quantify, the marketing spend we're making. The CEOs that are giving us that marketing spend are wanting to know how sales are attributing to that and what marketing spend is performing best. And when we look around some of the tools and technologies that we now have at our tools, we're talking, things about transparency, wasted money, viewability, right? Who's seeing our ads? Are they being seen by humans? If we look at 2-3 years ago, it's not a topic that we were really too concerned about. But then we have huge brands like Procter & Gamble globally who cut the amount of sites that they were advertising from 50,000 down to 5,000 and cut the actual spend that they were spending on advertising by $100 million globally. And they saw actually no drop in performance because they were being more effective with their advertising spend. Marketers really want to act at speed, right? We want to act at speed, be able to shift budgets from high-performing channels, from low-performing channels to high-performing channels. But it's very difficult for us to act at speed when we've not got the data at our fingertips, right? So IBM, one of our clients that we work with, they had 5 different agencies managing different campaigns in different geographies. They were getting reports at different times of the week, sometimes once a week, sometimes once a month. And it was very difficult for them to make decisions and have all the data at their fingertips. And more, I've touched on this earlier, but as marketing executives, we're being challenged with growth. So, how can we see that the money that we're spending is effective? And how can we showcase that in the organization? So, Coca-Cola and huge brands out there in the world are starting to change the role of the CMO, right? They've actually got rid of the CMO title, and their CMO is now Chief Growth Officer because they want the investments and the tactics of the Chief Growth Officer to be resulting in growth as the business for Coca-Cola. If we boil down what the main challenge that we see that marketers are facing, it's that they lack a single source of truth, right? Marketers are overwhelmed by all of the different data sources. getting data from Facebook, downloading it, looking at the data from Google Analytics on the conversion, getting data sent to us by our agency in an Excel format. We're spending so much time in these disparate data sets, and we don't really actually know if we're answering the right questions, asking the right ones, or do we have actually all the data in one place. And that's because our data is in silos, right? We've got the CRM data in one place, we've got our agency's data in another place, and advertising platform in another place. Which leads us not only to have our data in different places, but also we structure our business that way as well. So, our teams are siloed. We have our, web or loyalty or CRM team talking in one language because they're on one spreadsheet. And then we have maybe the agency or paid media team speaking in another language. And when we all get together each week to try and work out what's performed well for our business, it's like talking Chinese, English, and Indian all in one room, right? We want to get everyone together so we have this holistic view. So we live in this fragmented world with different silos, different teams talking different languages. Well, really what we want to know is, these big questions. What is our ROI? And where should we spend next? One of the difficulties is that marketing data is different. Your data is different to every single different business unit that you interact with. If you're talking finance data, if you're talking procurement data, marketing data sets change more frequently than any other data set, right? And that's because, whether you're Unilever and you're doing one product which is a hair care brand and another product which is ice creams, the different tactics that you would have marketing to those individuals are going to be completely different. And then if you compound that with maybe across multiple markets, the way that you would advertise to someone in South Korea is going to be completely different to someone in Singapore or Japan, for example. Different platforms, different tactics. But as a business, what we're trying to do is showcase performance, impact, loyalty, and growth. This difficulty that I've just outlined here, it's not stopping. So every year there's more and more solutions, right? And every time that you interact with one of these solutions, you bring on a new technology to help your advertising. It adds another line in that Excel sheet, which is becoming really out of hand. So it's really not stopping. Datorama is the answer to this. It consolidates, it brings together all your data in one place in a business intelligence or marketing intelligence tool that's built by marketers for marketers. So yeah, as I mentioned, 9 months ago, we got the fantastic news that we were acquired into the Salesforce family. So we're part of the marketing cloud ecosystem, and Datorama connects and unifies all of your marketing data to unlock insights and, importantly, align with what you've heard earlier from the Salesforce team, which is creating growth for driving customer success in your organization. So what is the Datorama platform? What does it do? And how is it different to maybe traditional BI platforms or our biggest competitor, which is actually Excel spreadsheets, funnily enough, right? As I've touched on earlier, so Datorama allows you to connect and unify all of your data into one place. So you can build actionable insights. You can have a real-time dashboard, which importantly shows you how, not only as a team, each day we can drive ROI for our individual business units, but at a high level, we can show to our CEO, show to our stakeholders that, the investments that you're making are driving performance in these ways, and we can show you in a dashboard that's built for senior stakeholders and the implementation of campaigns alike. Throughout everything that Datorama does, we have artificial intelligence to visualize, to connect your data, and to map it. We also have an AI tool called Genius, which allows you to automatically generate insights based on that data set that you may have. So Datorama Genius is almost like having your own data scientist built into the platform. Because at marketers, time and time again, when I speak to the customers and prospects that I engage with, more often than not, it's such a hassle to create this report. The moment you've created it, pull the data together, it's just sent out, right? There's no time to actually have any analysis to optimize. Well, Datorama is not only give you that time back to actually look at it and analyze yourself, but it also has a tool in there that can start to do some of that analysis for you so that you can spend more time doing the things that you maybe want to and business positive impacts. It also has some really powerful features around collaboration. So this is where Datorama doesn't just become this static tool, which is a dashboard, and it's great and it's telling me interesting things, but it also allows you to take actions on campaigns and send out alerts or notes to individual members to get them to stop or start campaigns depending on a goal you've created. So in the platform, you can set up a goal, like a click-through rate, a conversion, a goal for leads if you're a B2B client. And Datorama can email you when you've hit that goal. So some of the marketers that I speak to or some brands that I interact with, they have one campaign a year which they'll spend 50% of their marketing budget. It's vitally important then when they've hit that goal, they stop and pause all their campaigns. We're all humans, we're individuals. We like to take holidays or, actually sign off from work at the weekends. However, our customers don't stop buying. They don't stop interacting with our ads. However, Datorama effectively can monitor all of your advertisements, and it can send you that email whether you're in the pub on a Friday afternoon or you've just got into work and you've got 5 other things to do. If it's the most important thing of this campaign of the year, it can alert you to actually pause that campaign. So what makes us unique and different? What makes us a tool that has been acquired by Salesforce for nearly $1 billion? What makes us a tool that our clients say to us, it's the first thing I look at when I get into work, and it's the last thing I look at when I leave. Because Datorama is your control center for everything that you will do within marketing. It tells you, do I log into Marketing Cloud today? Or do I log into Facebook this morning? Or do I need to call up my agency to say that they need to shift budget between 2 different platforms? So the reason we've been so successful with our clients is because, as I've mentioned earlier, but I'll say it again, we were built by marketers, for marketers to be used by you. So we have a marketing data set built into our platform. So rather than taking something off the shelf and having to teach it things like a click-through rate, teach it a conversion rate, everything that you would need is built in there already. It means that you as marketers can have control over that dashboard. So every single person in this room, no matter kind of what your level of technical expertise, I imagine most of you or all of you can use Excel. We've built the platform so that any single person who can use Excel can use Datorama. This means that you don't have to wait for IT to build you a platform. You don't have to wait for IT to maintain that platform for you. It's all at your fingertips. As I said, it's also driven by AI. So a lot of the heavy lifting when it comes to mapping data is already in the platform. And there's insights there built for you as well. So Datorama has become the industry standard for marketing intelligence. Every single one of the key holding companies, the key agencies across the globe, Datorama is the BI platform of choice for them. We also work with clients across the spectrum. I've been spending time with my Salesforce team here, and they, quite rightly, as other customers ask me, what is Datorama best for? Is it a banking client? Is it a FMCG brand? The problem is across all brands. If you feel like you spend too long trying to find your data sets, too long your team members trying to build reports, and you don't have a clear view of the ROI that you're driving, then you need to speak to Datorama. Because whether you're a huge client or a small client, we've got the solution that can help you. And I think a great story is the Salesforce story of Datorama. How do I find myself here today in India talking to you, and how do I see that Datorama has become so integral to Salesforce and Salesforce Marketing's roadmap? It's because Salesforce was a client of ours. So the Salesforce Marketing team had a similar issue to what I've outlined already. They had no clear view of whether they posted an ad on LinkedIn or they hosted an event like today, and the leads that would come in from those events or that marketing activities, how would they convert to sales? Datorama was enable the marketing team to see the full ROI, see that complete picture from a lead or an impression all the way down to a conversion of a sale. And I'm sure at some point, the marketing team fed all the way up to the CEO, who got in contact with my CEO and called him for a meeting, which resulted in the acquisition of Datorama. And after being part of the Salesforce family for a while, our marketing team asked, can we get a quote from you? What was the thing that made you buy Datorama? And like any other marketer or any other good, savvy person who's acquiring a technology, they did their homework, right? They spoke to some of our competitors. They looked at building it themselves. And they ascertained that it would have taken them 9 months to build the 70 connectors that mostly were already available in Datorama, and cost them a huge amount of money in time, effort, materials. In Datorama, we were able to launch in 8 weeks for them, for a full solution. So I'm just going to quickly pick out some of those connectors and show you a little bit of the platform before I show you a few more customer case studies and stories. There we go. So this is the Datorama platform. This is, where the magic happens. This is where we connect clients' data. This is where we harmonize everything that a client's seeing and that a client wants to know to create that single source of truth. We can connect data in a number of different ways. But first and foremost, we've got the APIs all ready for you. We've got the connectors there. So 108 marketing vendors or APIs that are pre-built into the platform. So going through this list, you can see that we have APIs from all of the big marketing channels or platforms. Multiple APIs for things like Facebook, Google. The maintenance, the upkeep of these data connectors, which allow you just to come in here, click on the button, type in your Facebook email address, and the data starts flowing in automatically. We take upon ourselves to maintain that for you. So to give you an idea of what it would cost you or the kind of maintenance to build this yourself, last year, that Facebook ads API that you see, it had to be rebuilt 14 different times. So every time you saw a story in the news about, Facebook data breach or, when they're updating a new ad product, it needs to be rebuilt from your team. So Datorama manages that for you. Also, we have a direct line into the Facebook, into the other big marketing APIs development team. So we know before they're going to make an update that they're going to make one. Because if that's not working for us, we don't have a business, right? That's all we do. If you don't have or don't see one of those platforms that are already listed, it's really simple for anyone just to upload a single Excel sheet into the platform. You can then map that Excel sheet. It generates an email address. You can give it to the third-party partner, and then they can automate that by sending an email to Datorama. So no more Excel spreadsheets going into your inbox. Datorama handles them for you. And finally, we also have a huge amount of technical vendors as well. So we can connect to your back-end systems, SQL databases, cloud storage. It doesn't matter. We've got multiple ways of connecting your data. And all of this can be done and connected by any single person in this room who has Excel-based knowledge. So what do some of those dashboards look like? This is just an example dashboard that I'm showing you, which shows, performance across all channels for a commerce client that we would have potentially in the system. So you can see within Datorama, what we've done is build things like those KPIs or goals or alerts. So as a business, Datorama is now tracking every single day your revenue, what your revenue is to target, how many impressions you've delivered. And what that means is that when you've hit one of those targets, you can get an email, right? So when you get to 100% of a target, Datorama will email you and tell you you've hit that goal. So this is an overall dashboard, for all of your channels, for your CMO, for your CEO to view. but we would also build dashboards, and we build dashboards for our clients for those individual channels as well. So that email marketing team who need a further breakdown, they want to know really deep into all of the email marketing activities that are going on. They've got this dashboard at their fingertips. So every single day, the email team will be working within this dashboard. So let's look at some of the historical biggest Datorama clients that we've had, some of the challenges that they face each day, and how we've solved them for them. So we've looked at IBM, which I mentioned earlier. The solution they needed was to integrate and automate all of those different reports that were coming in from multiple different agencies, multiple different partners that were all coming in different times of the week. We integrated 500 different data streams for them, supported them across 10 different markets, and created 150 plus different views for all the individual stakeholders, which were automated so that they could act in real time, act at speed with their partners and their internal teams to make decisions on where to spend next and where was going to drive them the best ROI. And if you look at the VP of Marketing Analytics at IBM, he said, before Datorama, they would just talk. It was a bit of all talk that they were data-driven marketers. Now that they really can say that they are data-driven marketers. I think the great case study about IBM as well, IBM have their own business intelligence tool. So IBM, a massive technology company who own their own business intelligence tool, still cannot use it for marketing. They rely on Datorama. So for yourselves as businesses, do you really want to maintain all those APIs, or would you rather have Datorama do it for you? So another one of our key trailblazers is Ticketmaster. And Ticketmaster, they move at speed. They move really fast. They do a lot of the implementation of campaigns themselves, and they need to drive ROI and the cost per acquisition of a ticket as low as they can. Ticketmaster not only integrated marketing data sets, but also finance data sets, billing, executives, and sales data sets as well. So the platform I mentioned earlier, it works completely for any other data set you'd have in the business. We've got clients that are automating some of their sales data, automating some of their stock data to show how many items have actually been sold based on the marketing efforts they're bringing in. But this is the huge stat that I want to, if you leave with one stat today, it'll be this one here. Previous to Datorama, the Ticketmaster marketing team were launching 1,000 campaigns per month. After implementing Datorama, they doubled the amount of campaigns they launched. They didn't hire any new people. So with the same headcount, they were able to double the amount of campaigns they launched. Why? What was the reason? They saved 120 hours between them. They realized that they were spending 120 hours on reporting, on tracking goals each month. Not only did they save all those hours, double the amount of campaign that they launched, but the campaigns were also more effective as well. So the revenue that they drove and the KPI performance that they drove were also higher. And in the VP of Marketing's words, Datorama is literally mission critical to our business. This concept that, it's literally the first thing that they would view when they go in because it informs everything they would do after that day. So how does Datorama stack up compared to other BI tools? How can it help you? On other BI tools, you're going to spend a lot of time on the data integration. You're going to spend a lot of time building those connectors, building a data model, building something that a marketer would need to use. And only a small amount of time on the thing that matters to you, which is insights, which is, where do I spend my next dollars? How do I make my marketing more effective? In Datorama, all of that is automated for you so that you spend more time on the things that matter to the business, driving insights, making recommendations, and being a successful marketer. So in summary, how can Datorama help you? We can put your marketing budget back to work. We can show wasted, transparency, to up to 25%, sometimes more, of your marketing budget back to work immediately. We can give you your time back, stop you spending time, stop you or your team in Excel spreadsheets, not looking at the data correctly. You know, one formula wrong in an Excel spreadsheet could lead to thousands of dollars wasted. In Datorama, that's all automated. And we can hold every dollar accountable. So you can, as a business, say that you are a data-driven marketer, like IBM, like Ticketmaster, and show your businesses, show your internal teams that you're driving growth in the organization. So thank you. It's been great to speak to all of you. I'm happy to take some questions from anyone in the room. I think we've got some, we've got some microphones. So first question from over there. Just want to wait to the mic. I'm just going to grab some water as well. So.
Hi.
Hi.
So I was wondering if you could talk a little bit more about the AI powered insights specifically, in terms of how that help for a marketer, right? In terms of typical data.
Sure. I'm going to show you actually. Hold on one second. Right here. So I think we all know as marketers, one of the biggest challenges that we face is not only bringing the data together, but understanding that there may be trends, there may be insights embedded within that data. So, I'm just going to show you an example of a dashboard, an example of a use case where we would have used AI to find insights within a data set. So typically, this is a data set we potentially would always see or would have, in Excel or in the marketing activities we're doing. So it's a little bit small, but I'll just kind of zoom in a bit. We've got our spend. We've got the different channels that we're working across. We've got an agency managing our programmatic media. We're using Salesforce Marketing Cloud. And we've got figures around ROI, impressions, CPM, engagement rates, right? Lots of data there, but we're time poor. We've got our big launch coming up. We need to create a creative, and we need to speak to our creative agency. With Datorama Genius, what you can do is come to this little light bulb on the top of that. Click on this light bulb, and you can create an AI bot to find out insights that might be buried in that data. So when I've clicked that light bulb, we see the different dimensions, the different data sets, and we see some different agendas. And again, all of this, AI is tailored towards a marketer. So what is your agenda to improve? It's usually one of 3 or 4 things most times, right? I want to improve the cost per 1,000 impressions I serve. I want to improve my cost per acquisition by either increasing or decreasing its value. So you can run that AI bot on that data set. It will churn out a number of different insights, right? It's in a different part of the platform, gets a bit kind of technical. I'm not going to show you that yet. But basically, a stream of maybe 50 different insights would come from that data set. So it's like having a data scientist, or even yourself, if you had enough time, just to analyze through that, kind of bit ugly table that has got some data in. And what we see is that there'll be some key trends or insights based on that data. So we can see that, this email insight is showing us that the outdoor winter sales campaign and the audience 30 to 40-year-olds is performing 38% higher than the average. So this is the average, 38% higher. And also, conversely, we can see that video and the day of the week, Wednesday, is performing really bad. It's performing a lot lower than the average. So we can make the decision that we need to, either put more money towards email as a channel or more money to an audience, for example, as well. Does that answer your question? Cool.
Hi, Lawrence. Can you hear me? Yeah. Interesting presentation. What I want to know is, let's say, as a marketer, if I'm running a A/B testing campaign on various platforms, so let's say a couple of creatives are being used online and offline as well, and I have different data sources. I'm running it on, let's say, Facebook, on LinkedIn, on, let's say, Twitter, for that matter, and some other platforms as well. Now, while I didn't see LinkedIn, you have LinkedIn connectors as well?
Yes.
Okay, that's great. So if I want to understand, have a single source of, kind of data for me, I mean, a dashboard for me to understand how these campaigns are performing across all platforms. They may not have native connectors on your platform, but you can probably, consider me uploading a CSV file.
Yeah.
But again, I want to understand the CSV part, how simple it is, because again, it will be different formats being uploaded. So how does that work? And how can we get a single view over there?
Sure. So you're looking at something like this, a creative testing dashboard, which shows you multiple different ad groups or products. So your search creatives, your video creatives, and display creatives. So we've got potential different creatives running across different Instagram sites. You've got all of the different data behind that, and you can see which of them are optimized as well. So you can also bring your own learnings. So if you look here at the top of this dashboard, we've got historical data in this as well. And this is a bit more to the complex end that Datorama gets to, but it's possible for us to do it, and we work on it with our clients, where we see how many creatives we've got live. Do we want to optimize them? And if we were to change our different confidence levels of those creatives and the optimization around them, how many potential misconversions have we got from not having the right creatives optimized? And some of the most recent new features that we've built into the platform is that you can now, at the moment, it's just Google, Facebook, and Twitter, pause campaigns directly from Datorama. So these are two campaigns that we might have running, two creatives, one on Facebook that's optimized and performing well, and one that's not performing well. This little pause button here, if I click pause, that's now paused that creative on Facebook without even having to leave Datorama. The other part of your question, which is around uploading CSVs, uploading Excels, let's take a demo offline and show you that. It's really simple, easy to do, but I'd want to book a demo to show it you. Effectively, the top line is basically in the connector feature, which I showed you earlier, there's this, add new. If you have any data file at all, even in PDF, we can even pull data from a PDF. Obviously, most of the time, it's CSV and Excel. You do a one-time upload, so you tell Datorama what that Excel file means. The big part of where our platform is really powerful versus some of the other BI platforms is that when you connect that data set, we'll understand that it's ads data or creative data. So it will already start mapping. So the AI basically will pick out the fields from your Excel and map them to the pre-existing fields in Datorama.
Yeah, so that's the question I had, because you know what, the terminologies might differ. When you are uploading an Excel file, the terminology which is hard-coded in the system or with the AI might be. So how accurate does that get mapped inside?
Really accurately. So we'll give an example, impressions, right? Impressions is something that each platform often spits out different times, right? You may have your ad network that you buy with sending you the file, and it's IMPS dot. Another one is just IM for impressions. Another one's impressions. Another one's impressions hyphen. Datorama's AI will scan through all of those different ones and map it to impressions, which is the consistent data model in Datorama. Now, it doesn't get it 99 or 100% of the time, but it's super simple and easy. For one that's not mapped, you just go into a field and you search for impressions and you map it to it. That is the most important thing about Datorama, is that not only when you upload a file, which we may not have, but for all of these connectors you see, we've mapped them already for you. So Google Ads and Facebook Ads, it's already harmonized in Datorama. Every single 108 of platforms that we have currently are already harmonized, which is a big headache, right? Trying to harmonize the data. So that's that graph you saw, the time to insight in Datorama is vastly increased. And we have, who are the type of people that are managing this platform in clients and in agencies? We have people running this platform in media agencies, a lot for paid media, who have 6 months experience outside of university, right? All they've got is a good background in Excel spreadsheets. We train them for 3 days in Datorama, and they completely can manage the platform for you.
So do we see Datorama managing creation of campaigns as well, rather than us going to native platforms?
It's a good question. I don't see it happening. I don't think we want to get into that level of detail with campaign setup. I think the native features that are in Facebook, maybe you'll see it in Salesforce Marketing Cloud. Who knows? I don't believe so. The actions that we've mentioned and the ones that I've shown you are very, basic but really important, such as stop, pause, start, those kind of big actions that we want to take. We're never going to have the functionality that a DSP has in Datorama, right? And I don't think we want to, right? We're focusing on the big picture, the view, so that you can come into the platform and see, oh, wow, that's really overspent and the performance is not good. I'll jump out of the platform and make the adjustments. Cool, question over there?
Hi. What is the typical process for data cleansing as well as data churning?
So the first setup, the first time that we launch with a client, it will either be Datorama, Salesforce Datorama, who will set up the platform for you, or one of our partners like Mirum, who are currently training and being certified very soon in the platform. So there's no magic bullet, right? Which is, I think, what you're getting at, right? We've done pretty much everything we can to make it as simple as possible so that anyone can use the platform and integrate it and automate their data. However, rubbish data in equals rubbish data out, right? So more often than not, and actually this is where a partner like Mirum can really help you as well. Plus, our Datorama team have been doing it. It's not really something that the consultant part of things that we do, right? We just want to build your platform correctly. However, when you get going down discussions like this, you start talking about things like naming conventions, right? Are we following naming conventions? I'd like to have a show of hands. Who thinks they have a good naming convention that everyone in your business follows? 0. Don't worry, you're not alone. Pretty much like every one of our clients that we launch with. However, when they undertake a project like Datorama, it often is that kind of, they draw a line in the sand and say, you know what, we can't just have everyone running wild, uploading campaigns in all their different ways. This is the naming convention that we're going to follow. We actually have, and I can share it with you if you want, a Datorama naming convention that we recommend to clients. That just because we've been doing this for 9 years, I think 3-4 years ago, we got so sick of no one knowing what they were doing with naming conventions, we just created one. You can follow whatever you want, but if you want to use Datorama's, you can use ours. So the lion's share of the chunk of the integration or implementation period is taken up with those types of data cleansing and harmonization sections, yeah. However, any other BI platform, it would be 10 times harder, basically, is what I'm saying, and you still have to go through it. Any other questions? Cool, one at the front here.
So in your experience, typically how much time does it take for a client to do the discovery as to which channels they want to connect to it, get all the data up and running on the platform, and actually finally start getting the insights?
Yeah. It would really depend on the scope of the project, right? So I think if we can kind of go back to this. So it really depends on what use case we're solving, right? When we go into businesses, sometimes we'll be speaking to the CMO, this guy or girl at the top, or the CEO, oftentimes, CIO as well. And they will tell us, you know, we want everything done, right? We need a paid media dashboard. We need an organic media dashboard. If it's a beat, we need a leads dashboard, you know, and we can definitely do that. The time for that, obviously, is X. You know, I would say the typical implementation time for, you know, a big project, undertaking multiple dashboards for multiple use cases, let's take 2 or 3 of these, would take about 12 weeks, I would say, from literally contract sign date to handing the dashboard back for you to completely be running with and training on. More, you know, not basic use cases, but siloed use case. Let's say we're just automating all your paid media, right? It's where, to be honest, a lot of our clients start. That's probably the history of Datorama. That's the first issue that we set out to solve probably 8 or 9 years ago, and it's still probably the most popular one to solve, right? Because it's an easy one to quantify. I'm spending a load of money. I need to know where it's going. But that can be done, you know, within 4 weeks, you know. The Salesforce one, as you saw, was a kind of middle one, around 8 weeks. So
just one more question, I think.
Yep.
Mostly agencies use the platform or the clients directly, or how is it like?
Both. So we have instances where both, you know, even for a single client, the agency is using the platform and the client is using the platform as well, right? You know, if you kind of take a look to here, typically the agency or the buying agency's role is usually siloed to within this silo, right? Paid digital media. However, the client usually wants to see a lot more than that. So sometimes our relationship will start off with a license with the agency, and then the client sees the benefit of Datorama and uses it for the whole ecosystem. So the reason why Datorama is so powerful for both agencies and clients is that you can have a great trusted relationship within there. So imagine these as different, obviously, dashboards in your client workspace. You can have a dashboard which only the agency can see, and only the agency can view that data. So sensitive data sets, my question would be to you, how much data do you want to share with your agency? You know, do you want to give your agency your sales data? Most people would answer no. Conversion data sometimes. So that the agency can manage part of the dashboard for you, have services and help you with the bit that you want them to help you with, which is paid media. But you've got the holistic view rolling all the way up into the top, both paid media and your CRM and your email as well.
Thanks.
No worries. Thanks very much. Lovely to speak to you. Cheers.